Raider Nation, what is the deal, man? Once again, it's your guy, Panama Fargo, back to y'all live with another episode of the Raider Rundown. Make sure y'all keep tapping on that like and subscribe button. Keep helping the channel grow, man. Much appreciated. And we got some more of that dope content for you. And let's get into it. Look, so right now, special guest, my Pops, man. I'm going to let him introduce himself to y'all.
What up, what up? It's Pops, a.k.a. Eternal Raider. Here to chop it up this morning with you about some of that good old Raider news. So let's get to it.
He the first official guest of the Raider Rundown, man. So we're going to get into it. Obviously, I'm a Raiders fan because of this man. And he's had at least 40 plus years of Raider experience, fandom. So, you know what I mean? It's good to have that type of insight, especially for us younger fans, man. You know, we got to get some type of insight on what was going down. So,
40-year Raider fan right here, baby.
Topic of conversation today, man. Free agency recap. Let's get into who we've signed, the signings we've done, and also, you know what I mean, the holes that we still have after the first week of free agency and how we plan to fill those, man. So, you know, without further ado, let's go ahead, let's get into it. So, I was saying my free agency grade right now, as it stands, is a C+. Okay? All the signings you made, offensive signings you made, and the only reason it hasn't went to a B for me is because defense still has glaring holes. Now, What about you? What's your free agency grade?
Okay, well, me, I'm giving it a B.
Okay.
I'm giving it a B. My reason is for giving it a B is, first of all, we didn't have a quarterback. So we took care of that early on. And arguably, you know, I know a lot of Raider fans aren't happy about it, but arguably Jimmy G was the best available quarterback for the situation that we're in at this particular time. So I'll start with the quarterback. That was a pretty good get for me and Garoppolo. Also a sneaky underrated signing was Jacoby Myers. Nobody saw that coming.
Nah.
I think that was a really good move to plug into this offense. We saw some struggles last year with the offense, route running, you know, receivers not knowing where they're supposed to be. I think this is going to help alleviate some of that. Also, we added a sneaky underrated speed element in Philip Dorsett, which I think is going to pay dividends later on.
Well, if I have to say, as far as the Jimmy G thing, I wasn't totally on board at first. I'm on board now, but I will be less on board because, let's just put it like this. After a report yesterday that the Raiders are bringing in Blaine Gabbert for a visit, and if they sign Blaine Gabbert, your quarterback room only has 3 quarterbacks. Blaine Gabbert, Jimmy Garoppolo, Chase Garbers. So are you telling me you're not going to add a rookie quarterback? Because nobody goes into the season with 3 quarterbacks. You get what I'm saying? Like,
no doubt.
So if Jimmy G is the plan and there is no backup plan, I'm gonna the grade bumps down because Jimmy G can't be sustained for a whole year. We already know that.
You know, honestly, I think that we're going to draft a quarterback in the draft. It's just a matter of where and when. So but we're going to draft a quarterback. We know that for a fact that we're going to add a young quarterback to this roster.
We've had these discussions already off camera about what the Raiders are planning to do, and it still ties into the free agency plan. I've said it's a C+ because yes, you get Jimmy Garoppolo, yes, you get Jacoby Myers, but on the defensive side of the ball is where I'm focused on, and you only made 2 signings so far. I'm not counting the Curtis Bolton signing. I'm not counting the Roderick Teamer signing because those are special team signings. So as far as dudes to come in, give you immediate defensive impact, we've only signed 2 in Robert Spillane, Marcus Epps. Yes. Now we can't count the draft just as yet because it's not upon us yet. So we have to deal with what's in front of us. As it stands right now, the Raiders have not filled any glaring defensive holes that we as fans have been asking him to do since the season ended last year.
Well, you know, honestly, I feel like that we're taking a wait-and-see approach. It was just the first week of free agency. So we still got a few more moves to make out there. And one of my biggest things right now is that we didn't overpay. We're not overpaying. Let's get this right, Raider Nation. Let's get this understood. We're not overpaying for guys right now because there's still a robust market as far as every position right now. So right now, I just encourage Raider fans, let's be a little patient because you know what? We've done that in the past. We've overpaid for guys and they didn't work out. The Corey Littletons, the LaMarcus Joyners, these type of guys, like we're trying to avoid those mistakes.
Now, some Raider fans' frustrations, I can feel them in this. Although you don't overpay, and some Raider fans like, oh, it's the Patriot way. And I love the way Ziegler structures his contracts. Let's put it like that. Ziegler structures contracts for the Raiders to be able to get out of them.
Right.
So that's good. But on the other side of the spectrum, I can understand what people are saying. The Patriot way is kind of the cheap way. Like it's not spending on multiple talented players, and you're getting good value as either a depth piece or just starter level production, but you're never paying for superstar talent, which I can understand. But I've been saying 2023 is not the year to pay for superstar talent. We're not in the championship bubble right now.
We're not in that window yet.
And
therefore, that's a smart thing to do right now. We've done this shit before where we've gone out and spent big money on free agents and we get nothing in return. Hell, we damn near did it last year with Chandler Jones, right? So basically, what we're trying to do is fill this roster in with young, up-and-coming players that can actually contribute to us right now and still continue to get better in this system.
Exactly.
And that's what I feel like Ziegler and McDaniels are planning on doing. And for some reason, I feel like this regime is just kind of sneaky to me. You don't know what they're really thinking. You don't really know what their vision is. But I think that we just need to give them a little time and let their vision unfold. We can't do any worse, right?
Now, this is the next thing, because this is part of the free agency. You trade Darren Waller for the number 100 overall pick. I've said it was actually sneaky good move. Now, if he goes over there and gives the Giants 16, 17 games, a full season, and gives them good production, it was a loss on our part. We lost that trade.
Yeah, we did.
But if he goes and he continues his injury pattern, nobody's hoping he continues his injury pattern. Let's not go wood for him. Hopefully he does well. But if he continues the injury pattern, then the Raiders have won that trade, because at the end of the day, you're getting a pretty fairly early pick for a guy who is on the wrong side of 30. Let's just put it how it is. Unless you're LeBron James or Tom Brady, you're not getting better with age, like most we see.
Well, Raider Nation, you know, like my son said earlier, I've been a Raider fan for 40 years, and I've seen some things in that time, and I know we get attached to players. Trust me, I've been attached to the Marcus Allens, the Bo Jacksons, the Tim Browns, all those guys. But right now, Darren Waller's coming off 2 hamstring injuries, also an IT band knee injury, and like my son said, he's on the other side of 30. Those are explosive injuries. Those aren't upper body injuries. Those are explosive injuries.
And you don't get more healthy as you get older.
Exactly.
You don't.
Plus, that there was some underlying talk about him not being fully committed to the team, which we heard whispers about last year.
I didn't want to really get into it because, this ain't no gossip thing. But at the end of the day, we do got to talk about it. There was Michael Lombardi, father of, I believe his name is Vince. Is that his name?
Yes.
Lombardi, on the Raiders staff right now, offensive staff right now. And he pretty much gives insight on what's going on with the Raiders. He basically said Darren Waller, wasn't really fully invested in the team. And me personally, I know my dad can attest, during the season, I was saying the exact same thing when he was not showing up to games, not looking like he was putting the full into the rehab. I don't want to speculate. But at the end of the day, it didn't look like he was fighting as hard to come back on the field as much as all of us anticipated.
And we heard whispers during that time about that. But I tell you what, one of the things that I noticed about this team's attitude is that it was a close-knit locker room last year. Guys were pulling for each other, and it's kind of hard to make that kind of shake-up, that kind of trade in the middle of the season when you still, quote-unquote, think you're vying for playoff positioning and things like that. I will
rebuttal with this, though. We think the team was close. All these reports that have come out, it has shown me that team last year was not close at all. There was clicks, and people pick and choose. Starting with, he's not here, but everybody knows the former quarterback. Not going to get into it, but starting with that. And if your quarterback is taking a divisive side and saying, I don't feel like this regime is doing, of course everybody else is going to pick that side as well.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
You'll have your clicks. Obviously we see from the players that are here, i.e. Devontae, Max Crosby, they
bought in
with this regime.
They
like
in.
this regime.
They
you
bought
can
in.
tell.
They bought in.
And the players that didn't buy in, not really on the roster anymore.
So from my point of view, long story short on the Darren Waller thing, I think we got rid of him. It's better to get rid of him a year too early than a year too late.
Yep.
And that's how I feel about it. A third round pick, I think it's 109. It'll be
it's 100. Pick 100.
Oh, pick 100.
Basically
okay.
a fourth, but at the end of the day, is you got what 2/3?
Yeah.
Right now, and you rocking with.
So we got 4 picks in the top 100 this year.
We got 12 overall draft picks.
12 overall, 4 picks in the top 100. That gives us flexibility to move up and down the draft board where we see fit.
Right.
So for us to get a third rounder at this point for Darren Waller with the injury history, 5 touchdowns in the last 2 years, 14 games in the last 2 years. I think it was time.
Yeah.
So moving on from there, let's pin back to the defense real quick.
So we'll close it out like this. Like, the offense is good because you signed Jermaine Lewis and all that. How would you feel the defensive holes going forward in this next week?
Still definitely need and we also re-signed Jerry Tillery, which I think hopefully a training camp, off season with us. Maybe he'll come into his role a little bit better. He does have pass rushing ability. We saw that. Let's just see if he can take it to another level there.
Now we got to call him for what he is, though, as well.
Yeah, but we do need defensive help on the interior. Also, we need more help in the secondary. What are we doing with Rocket Sin? Because this cornerback room is awfully thin right now.
So he's already reported to have visiting the Baltimore Ravens today or tomorrow. So we'll see what goes on with that. Tillery is a good signing. I do like Tillery, but we have to call him for what he is. He is just a pass rush specialist right now.
Yes.
We all saw him against the run last year. And with the Chargers, we've had the privilege to be able to watch this man pretty much his whole career from being drafted to the Chargers, playing with us. He does not play the run well. So we know that. Now, you sign and you draft your 2 guys last year as far as Matthew Butler and Neil Jr. You're hoping that they take a step. And I've heard that both of them have gained weight, a significant amount of weight. At least one of them have gained weight. The other has lost weight per the Raiders' request.
Okay.
So they put the work in. All right, they put the work in. As far as the secondary, goes, like you said, this secondary is very thin.
Cornerback room's awful thin right now.
But the draft is deep with corners. So you might be looking there. You might be looking deep in the linebacker class. Now, my issue is here. The D tackle class in the draft is so top heavy to me. It's top heavy, right? D tackles, not edges. D tackles is top heavy. So in now looking at free agency, there's not many routes we can go, as far as looking at that right now. So are they hoping that the rookies from last year take a step, or are we looking to maybe sign some more or trade for another guy? What do you think?
Well, I feel like they're definitely looking for the rookies to take another step. Matthew Butler, you mentioned Nero Farrell Jr. Of course, they want these guys to take another step. 2 players out of the SEC, good pedigree. So, development there will be key, but hopefully they will be able to take the next step and provide us with some run stopping and pass rushing ability from the interior. Also, linebacker. Are they satisfied with Divine Diablo? We did sign Robert Spillane. Heard they had a linebacker visiting from the Miami Dolphins. I'm sorry, his name escapes me right now. Oh, yes,
Ginkle.
Yeah.
Which I'm, cool, but it just looks more to me like they might go young.
But this linebacker unit still needs a sideline coverage linebacker. I don't know if we found our general of the defense yet in middle linebacker. So that's another position that's key for us as far as developing and getting better at.
This is why I've advocated to sign Bobby Wagner. Now, Bobby Wagner is going to be 33. I understand that he might want to play for a contender. But if he does, if you can sell this man on, look, we need you to come in here and be a immediate quarterback of this defensive side. Okay? We're going to have a lot of young guys on this defense coming this next year. Prepare yourself. A lot of young guys on this defense is going to be young, fresh faces. You need that one guy. It can't be just Max right now. You need that one guy that has proven pedigree, a ring, that's going to sit there and command the defense. And I feel like Bobby Wagner would be that guy.
Like I said earlier, for me, it's all about price. It's all about what we're paid. Right now, to me, it makes no sense to overpay for a 33-year-old linebacker if the rest of the team has not taken a significant step forward.
I've been saying, Levante David got $7 million. And he's the same age as Bobby Wagner. He can't be asking for more than that. You know what I mean? Like, the linebacker market is very, very thin right now.
Well, and it seems to me that teams are waiting on guys like a Bobby Wagner for the price to drop because of his age.
Yep.
And so that's where you fill in the rest of the roster, because no doubt he's going to take his time in deciding on where he wants to go. So you fill in the rest of the roster, and if it makes sense down the road, then we can do something like that. But at the same time, there should be a bit more of a sense of urgency, and I'm hoping that'll come next week.
Yep.
With free agency as far as addressing defensive needs. I'm sure they have a plan in place. Like I said, Raider Nation, I think it's imperative for us just to be patient and stay tuned and let the process play out.
So, that's I agree. And like, Ziegler and McDaniels have said, and like I've said in previous videos, it's about patience and a sustainable winning culture, and you can't get that in one offseason. So, to end it off, like I said, my grade is a C+ for now, depending on whatever moves they make. What's your grade to end it off?
Right now, I'm gonna give them a B, possibly a B-, but right in that range, just because we do need to address some needs on defense. I do think the moves that we made so far have been shrewd. I do like the re-signing of Illuminor. I do like the signing of Garoppolo, like I said, and also the receivers that we brought in.
So let's see what else they do this coming week. I feel like they focus heavy on defense. Seems like they've been focused heavy on re-signing their own players. So we'll see what happens next week. But that's all the time we got right now, man. Make sure y'all keep hitting the like and subscribe button. Keep getting subscribing to the channel. Keep checking out the content. My pops will be back for more special episodes, more guest star appearances, man. And we're gonna talk some more of that Raider football, man. So remember, we always keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground on the Raider Rundown.